Welcome to SEC Saturday Night, presented by Holiday Inn Express, Kyle Field. Last Saturday in November, number 7 LSU, number 22 Texas A&M. Texas A&M has played 12 of the 13 SEC members. They'll meet Georgia next season for the first time. They've knocked off 11 of them, have never defeated the LSU Tigers since joining the Southeastern Conference. With Matt Stinchcomb and Chris Budden, I'm Taylor Zarzer. Rivalry weekend has delivered. It always does. And this one is turning into a rivalry. Although Jimbo Fisher, the head coach of the Aggies, would tell you, Stinch, we have to do our part. We got to win in order for it to be a rivalry.
Well, for any rivalry to be fun, especially for the fan base, there needs to be some back and forth. And so far, as you've already noted, it has been very one-sided. LSU dominating Texas A&M, but you have to know Jimbo Fisher still seeking that signature victory. It couldn't be any sweeter were that streak to be broken here tonight versus LSU.
Chris Budden, how do those Aggie players feel about this rivalry?
Well, I spoke with Kellen Mond, who grew up in Texas, and it doesn't quite have the same intensity that the Aggies and the Longhorns did, but it's that streak that you're talking about that has added some extra intensity. He told me this is about self-pride. It's also about proving people wrong. He told me he's heard it from the fans, that this is the same old Aggie team with an overpaid coach. He said a win tonight would be a game changer for this program, and it would prove to those fans that this is a new era of Aggie football.
It certainly would, and you're going to see Kellen Mond hand the football to Travion Williams a bunch tonight.
I think he's one of the most underappreciated offensive performers in all of the Southeastern Conference, and perhaps even the country. A complete back, explosive in and out of his cuts, physical between the tackles, something that I think is often overlooked about his game. He finishes his runs very physically, and he is a key contributor in the passing attack for the Aggies. 1,606 all-purpose yards from Travion Williams, leads the conference this year.
A&M won the toss. They decide to defer. LSU will receive. LSU leads the series 33-20-3. They started playing this game in 1899. The Aggies won it here in College Station 52-0. But LSU has won in this state 9 straight times. And the Tigers will start at the 25-yard line with a former Buckeye who I know was watching his former team beat up on Michigan earlier today. Joe Burrow, #1 in the SEC in protecting the football. Just 10 turnovers for this offense,
which has been crucial for LSU all season long. They are phenomenal with takeaways defensively, but to be dominant in the turnover margin, you have to protect the football. That is the #1 priority for Joe Burrow as the quarterback of LSU.
Listening to the 12th man roar at him here. Leonard Fournette in the game on the first play. Leonard's little brother had his first ever touchdown last week against Rice, and he picks up 9.
You know, one of the challenges that LSU is going to have in this game, both offenses want to establish the ground game, as you see LSU with their tempo, but it could be a challenge versus this A&M defensive front.
Nick Brossette, no place to go.
As you can see on that snap there, the penetration almost immediately. Kingsley Keke, and speaking with NFL scouts here today, they're taking a look at his play here tonight versus LSU. That is a downhill physical front.
Burrow, incomplete. Jamar Chase couldn't grab it.
Well, one of the goals for Texas A&M is to get LSU into throwing downs. That's outside of their comfort zone. As you see there, could have made that catch. Chase should have come up with that reception in front of Renfro. A&M's weakness defensively all season has been their secondary play, but with a quick 3-and-out and an early stop for the Aggie defense.
The 28-year-old Zach Von Rosenberg, second best punter in the SEC. To Rashad Paul, who's dangerous. Fair catch here, right in front of the 20-yard 20-yard line, a 48-yard punt. Here's Kellen Mond. This is his 20th straight start. He started every game in his sophomore season, grew up in San Antonio, finished his high school career at IMG Academy. And Jimbo Fisher loves the connection he's made with this young man.
You know, Coach Fisher doesn't gush very often, but he is pretty effusive with his praise of Kellen Mond, and it's a function of his mentality. Mond likes feedback, he likes to be coached hard, and he has responded well this season to that coaching staff.
And as expected, right to the ground, and Travion Williams, who's near the 25-yard line. As Matt told you, he leads the SEC in rushing. Travion does, all-purpose yards, tied with Brosette with 13 rushing touchdowns. Leads the entire SEC with 14 total, does have 1 receiving as well. And he's flourished in his junior year in Jimbo Fisher's offense. 2nd and 6. Fake to Williams, and it's Davis in stride, and he's past the 40-yard line.
We saw A&M earlier this season. Courtney Davis was really starting to come on. Another one of those young receivers, a big body at 6'2", 200 plus. He took a shot and stayed on his feet.
Davis, one of 13 players from the Houston area playing in this game. 13 yards for him here. Mond, deep ball. One-on-one, Sternberger dropped it.
This is something A&M likes to do a lot. Dave Aranda mentioned this. Sternberger was at the end of the line of scrimmage with his hand down. A lot of these great receiving tight ends, they don't like to be down initially. Sternberger does, and usually, as sure-handed as he is, should have come up with that one again. Jacoby Stevens in coverage twice now. That time, LSU dodging a bullet with the drop pass.
Corbin blocking in front of Travion Williams and doing an outstanding job as Travion's wrestled down by the face mask inside the 40. Matt Austin, tonight's referee.
So here's Corbin. This is their ponies set. Corbin is going to lead. He'll become like a lead blocker. And you see the line blocks to the left and the backs flow to the right. So the entire defense, their keys lie to them. You see that offensive front go to one side as it ends with the face mask. You tack up additional yardage and an explosive play for the Aggies.
Turns into a 40-yard play with the penalty. Williams makes people miss at the line, and Delpit drags him down at the 11.
This is the part that I think is so underrated about Travion Williams. And before Coach Fisher got here, he wasn't much of a tackle-to-tackle runner. He didn't spend a lot of time inside. He is not a huge guy. They have him listed at 5'9", 200. Well, 5'9" with maybe 4-inch stud cleats in. He's not big, but he hides behind his pads, and he always finishes falling forward.
Fake to Williams. Sideline, and that's a nice dive by Osborne to get the first down as Delpit was right there again.
And Grant Delpit, we mentioned Devin White. Grant Delpit, another one of those playmakers for the LSU secondary, and needed to because Osborne in the open field is a dangerous proposition. That time Delpit, one of the best solo tacklers on this defense with 40 coming into this game.
And look at the red zone numbers, scoring touchdowns for both of these teams. They have really struggled in this part of the field all year. The 1st and goal from the Aggies right at the 10. On the 10th play of the drive, Williams, look at that lateral move, touchdown!
Talk about a physical finish. He is clearly in the end zone. Travion Williams uses every ounce of that 200-pound body. Let's talk about patience. He almost completely stopped in the backfield before he jump cut to the left and then burst into the end zone.
14th rushing touchdown, the most in the Southeastern Conference, as Seth Small's extra point is good. The Aggies strike first in a rivalry they have not won since 1995 and haven't done it once since joining this conference. Trying to change that on Kyle Field tonight. Burrow, under pressure, takes off. He can run, and he takes a hit from Otaro Alaka near midfield.
Well, Burrow is a capable runner, a guy that if you do pierce the pocket as it breaks down, almost immediately Dalen Mack with the pressure inside out, as you see Alaka laying the wood to Burrow at the end of this. That is a shot, obviously to the non-throwing shoulder of Burrow.
That's another long snap count, and the Aggies are ready for it. In the backfield meeting Hilaire, OT as they call him, tackle for loss.
And the defense was initially discombobulated. You see Alaka winning right now, beating Damian Lewis at right guard. It looked like almost when A&M reset their defensive front, it confused the blocking scheme of LSU because Alaka unaccounted for again, and another negative yardage play on a rush attempt.
Quick throw to Giles. And he has blockers in front inside the Aggie 40-yard line. Pickup of 10.
Well, you've got two teams in this game that struggle in pass protection. So you can think if you're going to drop back, even on an early down, the screen game is imperative.
Burrow, deep shot. One-on-one down there to Jefferson, incomplete. As Renfro was running with him.
That's the first target we've seen in this game to Justin Jefferson. And coming into this game, obviously the leading receiver, 45 receptions. And by far, its most productive from an explosive playmaking standpoint. 10 different catches this year of 20 yards or more.
You see he's wearing that sleeve on his left leg. Chris says it's a calf injury that kept him out of practice on Monday and Tuesday. Brissett dumps it off to Burrow dumps it off to Brissett, rather. And nicks up to the 32-yard line for 5, third down.
So again, you see the screen game popping up. A&M laying their ears back in the pass rush. This defensive front for A&M does an excellent job of generating their pressure. Joe Burrow, oftentimes, even if the call isn't in there, they'll give him a check with me. 2 different calls, and he gets to the line of scrimmage. He can check to different plays. But early on, offensive coordinator Insminger dialing up some screen passes versus the Aggie pressure.
Play clock down to 2. Brissett flushed out. Burrow, rather, a first down run near the 25-yard line. Joe has showed off the wheels a couple of times when the pocket has collapsed.
Back-to-back third down conversions with Joe Burrow scrambling with the ball in his hands. Coming into this game, he had converted 9 different third downs by scrambling. Make it 11. He's converted 2 more here tonight. A&M holding up in coverage, nowhere to go with the football. The pressure gets there, and Burrow still makes him pay.
It's the 3rd first down conversion on this drive, and what is the 11th play. And Brissett straight ahead for a few as Alaka makes another tackle.
So far, the only rushing yards to be had versus the #1 rush defense in this conference in Texas A&M has been on would-be passing downs. You can see this defense obviously wants to be able to play in coverage, having hemorrhaged yards all season, and that's been the biggest turnaround defensively for the Aggies this year under Coach Elko and Jimbo Fisher.
Burrow keeps wide open space, touchdown. his 5th rushing touchdown of the season from 22 yards.
Well, that was Joe Burrow's drive. 2 third-down conversions, scrambling. Why not allow him to try to pull a read on the backside, keep it himself? And you mentioned it, Taylor, show off those wheels to get a LSU rather on the board.
A great game for his former team earlier today in Columbus, and a great start for Burrow here, owning that last possession. He might be from Ohio, but he's been adopted by people from the great state of Louisiana. Let's just go ahead and make it official, shouldn't we? That's how we're spelling Burrow's last name now.
All you got to do is love crawfish. Is that the threshold?
It's official when you transfer to LSU and you say that you love crawfish.
Right.
He even said, you can put it on the back of my jersey if you want. I'll own it.
He endeared himself to that program pretty quickly. That would seal the deal.
So both teams scoring on their last possession. Fake to Williams here. Mond over the top of that LSU defense, incomplete for Sternberger. They've targeted him 3 times, but unable to have any positive play yet.
And a couple of times on first down, and they like to do that. He was open, but as you mentioned, overthrown by Mond. So a little bit of a rocky start in the passing game for the Aggies. Sternberger earlier on what was an underthrown ball from Kellen Mond, dropped it. This time an overthrow, trying to hit one of the most productive tight ends and really receivers in general in all of college football.
A little miscommunication there, but it doesn't slow down Williams. Another first down run for the junior from Houston, up near the 45-yard line for 20 more.
A lot of heavy defensive fronts. As you see, that's a lot of bodies along the line of scrimmage. So the best way to beat that is to get out on the edge quickly. It's just a speed option. Something that A&M has run since week 1 this season. An easy way to get the ball to 2 of your playmakers on the edge. And Mond can keep it or pitch it out wide to number 5.
LSU gave up a touchdown in the first quarter for just the 2nd time all season on the last drive. Gave up 1 to the Crimson Tide. Now 1 tonight. Barring a touchdown here, that's the way it'll finish in the regular season. 7-7 as the Aggies are near midfield in a house that seats more than 100,000. Aggies looking to stop a 7-game winning streak that LSU has, tied up at 7 after 1. So much crossover in this game as we go to the second quarter. You see all the great talent that comes out of Texas and Louisiana still to come in the next couple of years. 20 Texans play for LSU. 10 guys from the state of Louisiana play for the Aggies. And 13 players are from Houston in this game tonight as Mond tries for Sternberger again, incomplete.
You see Kellen Mond, that time again too hot, trying to force it into Sternberger. He was covered over the top by Jacoby Stevens, who has been matched up with Sternberger most of this contest. And Devin White underneath that throw as well, as you see Stevens subbing out. Here comes Ed Paris in at safety, along with Grant Delpit, who has spun down close to the line of scrimmage right here.
On the 3rd and 8, Mond wide open to Osborne. First down, Aggies. 13 yards for the sophomore from Houston.
That time Dave Aranda dialed up and kind of bluffed pressure. Had Devin White up in the line of scrimmage, Grant Delpit as well, and then they were bailing out. Greedy Williams in zone coverage, and Osborne just kind of settling down in the soft spot, giving his high school quarterback, now college quarterback, Kellen Mond, a nice target to hit.
You mentioned Delpit, he was also on that team. Fake to Williams, and Mond takes off. He can run too. He gets the edge. Stays in bounds inside the 20.
Well, both of these quarterbacks can roll. We've already seen Joe Burrow. Now it's Kellen Mond's time. A&M's been able to get going a little bit on the ground. You see it enough. Next thing you know, those defenders are flowing. And certainly that makes a lot of sense when you've got the #1 rusher in the SEC in the offensive backfield. But when Kellen Mond can pull it, he's clean to the edge. He's got speed to leave defenders behind.
Both quarterbacks now with 5 rushing touchdowns on the season. Mond throws again. It's a rifle that Davis could not handle. Incomplete.
That ball a little bit behind Davis, but very catchable. Davis had a nice hands catch earlier on a 3rd down to convert. That time, you could see that ball trailing behind Davis. He comes out of that break right in front of Delpit. That's a touchdown if he catches that cleanly. Even though that ball was behind him, I think he's able to get his way into the end zone. As it is, once again, another drop. That's 2 that have hit A&M receivers in the hands.
Mond changes directions, shows off the wheels, 1st and goal. Actually, they mark him down at the 11, say that's where his momentum stopped. So it'll be 3rd and short from there.
Well, they're going speed option again. But that time, Devin White, or rather Michael Divinity, was upfield enough to where Mond couldn't really attack the edge and couldn't pitch either. So he pulled it and reversed field. When we talk about his speed, you know, that play was designed to go to the left. He completely reversed.
Moved himself up inside the 10-yard line.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, as we see it spotted.
And Mond instead will try to dive ahead. And it looks like his helmet and the football are right near the 10-yard line.
You see Matt Austin comes out of the pile, declares the 1st down. And it was delayed by 1 snap. You know, we've seen that a couple times this season, where a quarterback goes to slide and the spot will be challenged. It is difficult. And that time, though, the Aggies able to get the conversion and stay alive in this red zone possession. Last time able to run it in with Travion Williams.
Mond, Sternberger, touchdown. There isn't a tight end in college football with more touchdowns than that man. He's got 9.
Coming into this game, Jay Sternberger had 8 touchdowns. He's got 9 now. He also had 6 red zone touchdowns, make it 7.
And now it's 14-7 after Mond finally gets on the same page with one of the best in the country.
Well, what made it possible? LSU doesn't blitz much, but they brought pressure this time. Great pickup, plenty of time, and Kellen Mond stands and delivers. Sternberger, touchdown Aggies.
Muschamps boys go on the road to play Clemson tonight. Burrow under center, play action, old school football. Morrow, 1st down catch past the 35-yard line.
Morrow had a career day last week. Senior day at home. New Orleans kid, play action on 1st down. Again, 1st down passing by the LSU offense has been highly productive each time they've opened up a series.
It's a 6 different receiver that Burrow has found so far. 13-yard reception. Into traffic somehow. Chase made that catch.
I don't know how this ball does not get intercepted. You had 3 Aggie defenders in position to potentially make the play, and somehow that ball, it's like a ground ball with eyes, just kind of wiggled its way through there, and Chase coming down with the catch. 7-man protection. LSU left nothing to chance that time to make sure that Burrow had time to deliver that football.
Chase is one of about 8 LSU receivers that runs by you in warmups, and you say, what a good-looking get-off-the-bus team this is. Burrow gives himself up inside the 45-yard line. 5 more is he now has 44 yards rushing in the first half.
Well, first downs have been owned by Joe Burrow. If he's not throwing the football, now he's carrying it. That time, effectively, that's the same play that he scored on earlier. The touchdown in the first quarter, that time upended, but not once again after picking up positive yardage on first down. LSU offensively has been excellent on their first down execution.
Burrow just trying to get some positive yardage, gets back to the 31, but Matabike wraps him up. Third and a mile.
And they ended up doing the same thing, effectively different personnel that time, but they're stunting now the defensive front, not straight rushing. They want to try to muddy up the escape route for Joe Burrow. There have been multiple times in this game where A&M has held up in coverage, but they've allowed Burrow to escape. Now on back-to-back snaps, defensive front doing a good job of containing a would-be scramble from the LSU quarterback.
Yellow line is at the 9-yard line. Incomplete. And they're saying this is a live ball. Miles Jones initially ruled a touchdown.
Jamar Chase, the intended receiver again. This is twice now, and that ball's clearly on the ground.
The forward pass contacted the ground, therefore it is an incomplete pass. Ball will be replaced at the 31-yard line. There will be 4th down. Please reset the game clock to 5:35. 5:35.
And an incompletion turns out to be a great thing here for the Tigers.
Well, it could have been catastrophic going the other way. Instead of setting up what ends up being a field goal attempt, could have easily been 6 for your opponent.
Cole Tracy from 49 yards away. He is 20 of 21 inside 50 yards this season. As Matt Austin, the referee, gets in position here. This guy, the transfer from Assumption College, leads all of active kickers with 90 career makes.
It's a long kick. A&M's had a block this year, but they're backing off.
And he hits the left upright, no good. He's had a fantastic season with a 54-yarder against Miami and beat Auburn. Can't knock it through here. Midnight yell practice for the last time in 2018 at Kyle Field, the largest house in the Southeastern Conference, and maybe more impressively, the largest house in Texas for football.
In a state where size matters, that's serious bragging rights.
It's Williams again, and he's tripped up past the 40-yard line. On a 3rd and 8, Aggies pick up the blitz, and Sternberger is running for daylight inside the 20-yard line.
How in the world is Jace Sternberger not a finalist for the Mackey Award? I mean, this guy, all he does is just make big plays. He's had a couple of drops. He had a drop earlier, but in 11 of 12 games, he's had a 20-plus yard reception. Leads this offense, and on a 3rd down, able to pick up yet another big one. And his yards after the catch are just phenomenal. More than half of them generated after he's made the catch right.
There's 36 more there. And Williams for 3 to the 16. Already under 3 minutes to go here in the first half.
And you could see as this drive got started, on a counter play, Travion Williams blowing up in there. You get a negative yardage play with Kellen Mond trying to get on the edge. So you get it right back to another playmaker. Williams starts the drive. You get it to Jay Sternberger on a big third down. And now you've got yet another red zone opportunity.
And with all kinds of time, incomplete to Trevor Wood. Covered up by Patrick Queen.
Trevor Wood does not get a lot of targets. That time, the Aggies trying to probably go against trend. Do a little self-scout every once in a while. And Trevor Wood is not getting a ton of looks, seeing if they couldn't slip him out there, but excellent coverage by Queen.
Good point. He's called one of his 2 passes on the season last week. A transfer from Arizona. Terrific scoring touchdowns in this position tonight. But Mond will be stopped shy, running into Devin White there, 4th down.
This is a designed run for Kellen Mond. You see this, a QB draw. You got pullers out in front. Ryan McCollum trying to pull around, and nobody taking care of the best tackler on the field in Devin White.
Yeah, guys, Travion Williams approaching 100 rushing yards, 96 in the first half. But Devin White keeping the Aggies out of the end zone here, and now it's a 33-yard field goal attempt for Seth Small. Leighton Mann, the punter, the kickoff specialist, and the holder with a perfect one there, and Small sneaks it in, and the lead is 10. Aggies trying to end the losing streak. College Station, Texas, just an hour outside of Houston. An hour and a half, closer to 2 hours, depending on who's driving away from the former rival, Texas Longhorns, as that ball goes out of bounds. And it'll get Burrow plenty of time to scamper out of bounds into Aggie territory. Texas A&M second in the country in time of possession with over 35 minutes of a game. Lost the time of possession battle for the first time this season to UAB last week. LSU has been on the field the majority of the first half.
Well, and LSU offensively, although they will go up tempo, as will A&M at times, they are designed to try to possess that football, play to their strength, which is their defense.
Burrow runs for 7 more. And it's now 2nd and 3. And it's Chase to the 41. First down. Clock stops as they move it. LSU with 1 timeout.
And as you can see now, you pick up that first down, you're in plus territory. Now LSU trying to snap quickly.
Goes for it all. End zone, knocked away at the last second as 2 number 10s fight for the ball. Stephon Sullivan, the intended target. Miles Jones knocks it away.
In the A&M pass rush, the D-line is gassed. As you see Miles Jones, he ends up adjusting. You see him, he's trying to break inside, reading the quarterback's eyes. Sullivan was outside all the way, and Jones, who is 6'4", using his entire length to break up what would have been a touchdown.
Bill Fisher said Miles Jones has earned the right to play in the last month with exceptional defense. Burrow leads D. Anderson too far, 3rd down.
Well, we've seen Burrow, the heroics have largely been in the scramble game. He's converted a 3rd down as a passer on a 3rd and long, but otherwise it's been his ability to escape because the coverage has been there for A&M on these 3rd downs. You see the 8 rushes for 51 yards. But the key part of it is those yards have been enough to convert on 3rd downs and extend drives.
And here's the 11th play of this one.
A&M so far has been content to rush 4.
Do it again, and Burrow goes down as he's dragged down by Landis Durham. It's 4th down.
And in some ways, it was almost better. That wasn't intentional. As you see Burrow He's lobbying the LSU coaching staff. Looked like he was wanting to stay on the field.
Cole Tracy from 47 yards, missed from 49 last time. Redemption here, and it's a one-score game at the half.
Well, LSU able to get back on the board. A&M is going to regret not getting that touchdown in their last red zone possession. They had 3 possible interceptions slip through their hands, but they have to be pleased so far with the way that they've played defensively.
Burrow with a terrific first half, but down 7 to Jimbo Fisher's Aggies. A&M leads 17-10. Let's go to the Regions Bank halftime report with Dari, Chiz, and CD. Texas A&M up 17-10 on LSU, trying to end a 7-game losing streak in the rivalry. If you're an LSU fan, you might be thinking, Michigan lost? Notre Dame's losing right now. Is there still a path for us to the playoff? Well, first you need to stop Travion Williams.
That's exactly right.
Aggies get it first from the 25-yard line. Chris Budden to start the third quarter.
Well, despite those frustrations, Ed Orgeron, trying to keep his team positive, said, hey, we've been here before. We have our best ball in front of us. He said offensively, we have to give Burrow some help. We need to be able to run the ball. He said, I think we can beat them in quarters, and we have the advantage on the deep ball. He said defensively, we have to be able to limit Jay Sternberger and stop the run.
Texas fighting Aggie band got a little loud for KB there. So it's one of the things that LSU has to contend with tonight, but A&M gets it first here in the third quarter, and they go right back to Williams, who gets a couple now at 98 yards rushing tonight.
7 different times this season, Travion Williams has been able to eclipse 100 rushing yards. We talked about how important he was in the first half. Was able to rip off a long run to set up a scoring drive, 24 yards, before he was able to punch it in. And they open up the second half, trying to get some more touches to number 5. He is second only to Benny Snell in this conference as far as carries per game.
Mond with the pocket collapsing, tries to dump it off, incomplete. Jamon Osborne is the intended target.
I talked about Travion Williams in protection, and he's usually excellent, but it's not easy to pick up a blitzing linebacker in Devin White. We talked about his blitzing ability earlier, and that time got the better of Travion Williams, who usually matches up incredibly well, despite his lack of size in protection. That time, big number 40 for LSU got the better of the protecting back for the Aggies.
A&M outstanding on this down, staying on the field. He avoids the Delpit rush once. He almost ran him down again, incomplete to Osborne. As Terrence Alexander pressed into duty tonight, the senior from New Orleans, there to help make the play.
Grant Delpit able to get that pressure, had 5 sacks coming into this game, and we talked about this man, a weapon in Braden Mann.
He's the best average for a season in college football history, and ironically it's Chad Kessler that he might pass. A 53-yarder his first time tonight. Another moon ball. It takes Giles back inside his 15-yard line, and he's tackled near the 10.
Wow.
That is a 58-yard punt. And it's Trayvon Fuller with the tackle. They go right to Brosette, and that's his first positive play of the game, 8 yards.
That time able to crease the A&M defense. They brought edge pressure from the right side of the LSU offensive front. Brosette just gets downhill right now. And you got to believe that they want to get them going. But LSU starting the second half exactly the way they led off in the first half. Their first down efficiency tonight has been outstanding. It's second and third downs that have been their undoing.
It's Brosette again, first down run past the Aggie their own 25-yard line.
Well, those first downs are setting them up. They've averaged north of 7 yards on first down. And you think about how good A&M has been on third downs this season. The Aggie defense has averaged, forcing the opposing offense to go 8.2 yards to convert on third downs. That has not been the case here tonight. They've had to buckle down in short yardage scenarios. The Tiger offense able to open here in the third quarter with 2 strong runs.
9 yards and then 7 more, and now Burrow back to the air, and it's Jefferson getting loose. He's at midfield. 24 yards for the sophomore.
And another 5 yards after the catch. See Terrell Dotson trying to come back in coverage and drop underneath. And Dotson doesn't wrap up as he falls into Jefferson. You see Jefferson finishing that catch physically with the stiff arm.
Set picks up the blitz for Burrow. He leads Fournette perfectly, can't make the catch.
Lotaro Alaco's underneath this ball. And I think that was more than enough. Watch 42, see him get his hands up just enough. It's almost like in hoops, you don't have to block the shot. Just get your hand in the shooter's face. And it was enough for Fournette. This is the 3rd target of the game for Fournette out of the backfield. He's made 2 previous catches and has been very productive as a receiver out of the LSU offensive backfield.
Burrow underneath to the 44 to Derek Dillon. Pickup of 6.
Full slide protection, able to keep Burrow nice and clean. They want to negate any of that pressure for the A&M defensive front, but so far, not lined up.
And this is a catch by Marshall, and a flag comes in inside the 40 down near the 37.
Substitution on the defense, 12 people on the field. Penalties decline. Play results in a first out.
You see here late, guys are running off. See here, looks like Dalen Mack. He's trying to get off the field. Big fella, he ain't never going to get there. He had too much ground to cover. Coming into this game, the Aggie defense, they're not used to being on the field very much. Only 626 defensive snaps in 11 games coming into this night.
Losing the time of possession battle again, but they're there to meet Brosette. No place to go. 2nd down, Larry Pryor. Those safeties coming up to make the tackle. That was the 50th offensive play for LSU. Texas A&M on average only plays 57 snaps per game on defense.
You think, obviously you want to be able to roll guys in, but oftentimes those Aggie, the defensive front, which is their strength, it's the same faces. It's Mack, it's Matabike, it's Durham and Kingsley Kiki.
Option, Burrow elects to keep it. And he a big form tackle by Donovan Wilson down at the 7.
That's twice where we've seen Burrow get stuck by the Aggies. Earlier was by Alaka, this time Donovan Wilson. That is a clinic real tackle. Looks like Pat Fisher for the Washington Redskins in the 70s. We teach guys how to tackle that way. But a 3rd down, and this has vexed the Aggie defense all game. The ability for LSU, despite coverage downfield, to buy time, but in the red zone, easier for a defense to collapse.
One-on-one, end zone, caught! Jefferson!
Earlier in the game, we saw Miles Jones, and he was able to double move by Jefferson, and Renfro gets caught looking in the backfield too long. He was watching Joe Burrow all the way. And in fact, the double move really didn't have that much of effect on Renfro. He wasn't watching Jefferson, but he gets turned around. Miles Jones did earlier, was able to use that 6'4" body. That time Jefferson, strong hands coming down with the catch.
That was the 15th play of the drive, tying the longest of the season, and Joe Burrow was 4 of 4 on 3rd down. How about this catch from Justice Jefferson, tie game. Tie game here with 7:42 to go in the third quarter. Travion Williams, the fake, loading up deep down the field, incomplete to Kendrick Rogers. We haven't called his name yet tonight. We haven't called Greedy Williams either. He was right there. The best cornerbacks in college football. His brother, Rodarius, starting cornerback at Oklahoma State, playing down the road in Fort Worth right now against the Horned Frogs. Fake to Williams. Mond rifles one over the middle, almost picked off by Delpit off the carom.
He's a little bit late on this RPO, and he's reading it. You see Devin White checks up, the window's there, but the pressure made Mond kind of hitch just a little bit. And Jacoby Stevens, who's had himself a pretty good night so far, able to get the tip. And Mond has been only 3 of his last 10 attempts. This entire half, he's had difficulty where the pressure has moved him off of his spot. He's had to adjust in the pocket this entire third quarter. Only the second possession, but LSU doing a good job making him uncomfortable.
And this one's incomplete to Davis, who was covered up.
Now earlier, it was the LSU receivers that are frustrated. And now it seems pretty clear A&M getting a little frustrated at receiver.
And that man, Kerry Vincent Jr., his father, Kerry, was an Aggie wide receiver. He makes the play there to force another 3 and out.
And Kellen Mond, he's having to manage the pocket. That time relatively clean. He had to wait for Davis to come open late.
Catch made, and it's dropped! Dropped by Giles, and it's picked up by Buddy Johnson. Fair catch made by Giles, but he muffs it.
He made the fair catch signal, but he didn't make the catch. Giles coming up, trying to field that. Braden Mann, he kind of undershot this one, for his standards anyway, and it ended up being possibly the most important play of this game so far. Braden Mann, who usually hangs it up there, backs up the receiver. That time, Giles had to come up to try to field that punt and ends up muffing that fair catch, and a great job by Johnson. The first takeaway, and the Aggies have nearly had 3 others on defense, and the special teams is able to come up with one.
Williams bounces off of Tigers to the 25. As A&M is still searching for its first down of the quarter, yet now at the 25-yard line after the first turnover of this football game.
Tale of 2 halves. So as the continuation, LSU able to extend drives, third down scrambles. Joe Burrow, they get in the end zone with a great catch. And before that muff punt, it was going to be 2 straight 3-and-out possessions for the A&M Aggie offense.
Williams went over 100 yards with that last run. And he's now inside the 20, down to the 19, right near the first down marker.
That's the inside rushing that Williams had in him, but you never got to demonstrate. Nice blocking inside. Eric McCoy at center, who has been a mainstay all season long. As you see, Ed Alexander slow to get up.
Tyler Shelvin takes his spot on a 1st and 10. Mond, end zone, incomplete. Short for Osmond.
He wanted Sternberger on first down. He ended up being double covered. 2 deep safeties that time. Nowhere to go with that one, so he came back to his second option on a back shoulder throw. You see 2 touchdowns on 3 possessions back in the red zone, 56% touchdowns. And they need to come away with 6 on this one. They kicked a field goal the last time they were in the same red zone.
Mond is 0 for 6 passing in the second half. Williams Runs into Shelvin, the redshirt freshman from Lafayette, Louisiana. Took Alexander's spot in the game. It's 3rd and long.
That's the hard part. You take a shot on 1st down. You don't convert. Leaves you with the 2nd and 10, obviously. Travion Williams just trying to get it to 3rd and manageable. And in this half, Kellen Mond has not been comfortable in the pocket. Hasn't been allowed to be. And when he has tried to manage throws downfield, he has been under duress. And as you mentioned, 0 for those 6 attempts.
And he'll take off here. 1st and goal.
Well, why not tear a page out of the Joe Burrow 3rd down conversion book? Because he's practically riding one tonight. Look at that rush lane. It's huge. Mond still wanted to try to get it downfield. He wants to scramble to throw, but finally decides just to tuck it. Thought twice about trying to juke Devin White in the open field and just said, forget it. I need to convert. And he was able to do so to get a fresh set of downs inside the 10-yard line.
An 8-yard gain. Puts him there at the 8. In pistol set, it's Williams. Down near the 5.
He just kind of slashes his way to the line of scrimmage, does Williams. Even if you get penetration, he's often able to juke whoever it is that's in that backfield and still get upfield quickly enough to pick up positive yards.
It was Alexander who was right there near him, who is back in the game at nose guard.
As you mentioned, one of the top 3 or 4 defenders on a talent-laden defense is number 99.
Staying on the ground, and Williams is near the 2, 3rd and goal.
Another inside run for Travion Williams. You mentioned the workhorse, so he averages over 20 attempts a game. He gets his touches. A lot is made in this conference of Benny Snell and what a workhorse he is. Number 5, that's just run carries. That doesn't include receptions.
Do you let Kellen Mond use his arm here from the 2-yard line?
Well, that's the one element that A&M has that's different from LSU's. They both struggle in this area, but Kellen Mond has been relatively effective as a passer in the red zone, but he can also run if you get it on the perimeter.
It's Williams instead. Touchdown. He has the 3rd best rushing total in Aggie history.
We talked about how effective he is in just about every facet, but it was his running ability on this possession. Got him down there and then got him in there for 6 points.
Jonathan Giles, the Texas Tech transfer, unable to field the punt. Buddy Johnson was Johnny on the spot. And a few plays later, it's Travion Williams in the end zone again. Travion Williams leads the Southeastern Conference in touchdowns. 16 on the season, 15 coming on the ground. The latest, a 2-yard touchdown run that gives the Aggies the lead. They've lost 7 consecutive games to LSU. In this rivalry that dates back to 1899, all 6 meetings since A&M joined the SEC in 2012. And coming out is Edwards-Helaire. And it's Mann that makes the tackle at the 25-yard line. End of the 3rd quarter. The Aggies up 7. Best punter in the country is ready to do his work as we go to the 4th on a loud night in Kyle Field. Texas A&M with only 25 total yards in the 3rd quarter. When Brosette takes off as he gets near the 35-yard line. Mann is still making tackles, though. Made one on a kickoff tonight, and of course recovered a fumble against South Carolina earlier this season on a punt. So while he's not supposed to be playing every down. He takes advantage when he is out there. Is Burrow and the LSU offense gets right back after it. Justin Jefferson wide open at the 46-yard line.
You rip off a nice run on first down, and then you go tempo and pop another long throw. And that time Burrow did a great job in the pocket because he had pressure around his legs. Didn't take his eyes off the route, threw to the open receiver.
A little trouble with Burrow and Brissett, but Nick is able to get the football from him and bring it to midfield for a gain of 4. Renfro on the tackle.
The exchange kind of muddied it up, and Jaden Peavy beats the block of Damian Lewis at right guard. Missed a chance for a tackle for loss.
Burrow cannot escape as Dalen Mack just holds on to Burrow's leg for what seemed like an eternity.
You know, sometimes I think tempo has gotten the best of LSU tonight, because this time there was some confusion. It looked like, I don't know what Sadiq Charles was thinking, if he had help from his tight end there, as if they had a full slide protection where the entire offensive line blocks to the right. But it looked like he was locked up with Mack, and Mack just kept on working upfield to get Burrows to the ground.
Burrow steps up, and now he's down. Otaro Alaka.
We talk about the secondary coming into this game, but for most of tonight, they've held up. Now this time, you see you had 2 Aggie defenders kind of hovering around. Both Dodson and Alaka were going to spy. They were going to make sure that Joe Burrow did not escape. So you devoted 5 basically to the passer that time to keep him in the pocket.
Alaka making his 38th career start as Paul makes the fair catch at the 19-yard line. On a 3rd and 2, Mond looks to Gillespie, and the 12th man is past the 45 into LSU territory.
That'll be the biggest play of the second half for A&M. And how fitting that it would be to Gillespie. Sneaks out of the backfield and able to pick up not only a first down, but a chunk play.
You get that number if you represent everyone here. And Gilly, as they call him, a former walk-on, a senior from Katy, Texas, playing in Kyle Field for the final time, gets 18 yards there. Kellen Mond now 2 straight completions, but this one is a loss and a fumble. It's stripped away. Streaking the other way is Michael Divinity. Touchdown LSU.
Three guesses who rips the ball out. Now Travion Williams, he might have been down before this ball came out. He had to avoid a tackle right away. Greedy Williams came up, and it was Devin White who got out there, and he's got his, you see he's got his left hand that was on that ball. This is knee down before Devin White rips this ball out. That ball looks like it's out. It's bang bang, but that ball looks like it's already out. That was one of the things. You come into this game, if you're A&M, that you desperately wanted to avoid was turning the football over to a defense that is phenomenal at creating those takeaways. This time, no offense needed. The defense scored on their own.
Cole Tracy ties it up. The LSU Tigers led the NFL with 52 players on NFL rosters. This guy will be on Sunday next season. You have to check this off your bucket list. If you have never been to Kyle Field, the largest house in the Southeastern Conference and in the great state of Texas. Tied at 24 apiece after LSU's Greedy Williams recovers the fumble that Devin White forced. A&M starts at the 25.
You see that turnover margin. That has been the story. We talked about Joe Burrow offensively. Don't turn the football over. He hasn't. Although there have been some near misses, and boy, the defense does a great job of generating takeaways for LSU.
Mond trying to find a rhythm here in the half, and it's not going to happen there as he is lit up in the backfield by Jacoby Stevens.
Yeah, pretties up the win-loss record for A&M as well. Big victory for the Aggies over the Wildcats.
For a 5-yard loss, this isn't going to do anything either, as Divinity was right there to greet Travion again.
Travion Williams is going to have to shake it off, because on the last play, Jacoby Stevens, he should have been picked up and blocked by Travion Williams. He wasn't. A negative yardage play. Then you try to hit Travion Williams coming out of the backfield. Wasn't the best ball, but 3 snaps in a row, and number 5 for the Aggies, who's their best player, as we've mentioned, he's going to have to shake it off, that fumble, and start playing.
3rd and 16 with a quarterback who's struggling. Instead, they just go to the ground, and Williams, they'll pick up a few to give Braden Mann a little bit more room. It's the 4th 3-and-out of the half for Texas A&M.
You think about that pass to Gillespie out of the backfield. Otherwise, there has been virtually no offense for the Aggies here in the second half. Other than that muff punt, giving them a short field, and it took 7 runs. 1 incomplete pass for the Aggies to get it in there finally, even with that.
Man, a great punt. It's caught by Giles inside the 25. It's a 53-yard punt. Joe Mond only has 2 second-half completions. Burrow 7 for 8. And Leonard Fournette turns on the Jets, breaks tackles as an inside the 35. That's a 46-yard run.
Devion Renfro, the corner, he gets hung up inside. Nobody set the edge. And Fournette was able to get outside. Larry Pryor coming over at safety with a pretty poor tackling effort. Fournette picked up another 4 yards. Pryor just trying to bounce him out of bounds, and Fournette wasn't having it.
58 total rushing yards on the season before that big game. And now it's Brissett breaking tackles. He dives ahead to the 21.
All of a sudden, again, Pryor again coming up from his safety position, misses a tackle in the hole. They're going to need to be sure tackling. That's one of the things that the Aggies have done well all season. Part of the reason why they've been excellent as a run defense is they don't give up a ton of yards after contact. LSU doesn't typically generate a ton of yards after contact, but back-to-back runs where the Tigers able to get going after a would-be tackle.
Brissett, first down. Burrow giving the sign for first down as soon as he handed it off. He gets inside the 15.
Well, Burrow was a little premature with the first down sign. It looked like maybe Brissett wasn't going to get to the edge, but the stiff arm of Dodson was more than enough to allow Brissett to get to the perimeter.
How about the difference for Nick in the second half?
And tired. When you think about it, too, A&M's offense being incapable of establishing drives, which has not been their MO all season. As we mentioned early in the third quarter, the A&M defense was gassed.
Fake to Brissett. Moreau. Touchdown. Bulldozing his way to give the LSU Tigers the lead.
I didn't think Moreau was going to be able to get out. It looked like he was hung up at the line of scrimmage, and he was able to fight his way loose and not only make the catch, but able to battle through Donovan Wilson, who had to go low. That's a big man at 6'6", 255 pounds.
His first touchdown of the season came last Saturday night against Rice on senior night, and he gets another one the following week. And now LSU is up 7 with 6:41 to go. It's their first lead of the game as they look for 8 straight against the Aggies here on top in College Station. LSU, a touchdown pass to Foster Moreau on top, and now the kickoff specialist, Avery Atkins, who's been a touchback machine this season. He does it again, and the Aggies start at the 25-yard line. They have 89 seconds to go 77 yards with no timeouts, and they need Kellen Mond to play his best football.
That means they're going to have to go about 32 yards further than they've been able to throw for the entire second half. Kellen Mond is 6 of 16 for 45 yards in this second half of football, and a lot of it has been LSU's ability to affect him as a passer. It hasn't been all sacks. It's been hurries, flushes. The throws haven't been on target. The receivers have not come down with catches that they could have made, albeit tough catches.
First and 10, incomplete into the hands of Buckley.
That's 2 drops for Cameron Buckley here in the second half. He comes out of this break. He ends up having to flatten that route a little bit more than he anticipated. You got to make that catch. It just hasn't happened. This second half, receivers will end up with the ball in their hands, touching their hands, and they just have not been able to help out their quarterback.
Pick up the blitz. Mond incomplete and almost picked off by Delpit.
And Courtney Davis stopped on this route. Mond was trying to get number 1. He's expecting him to keep running through this thing. You see 1, he's kind of just came up short on that route. Delpit had 5 interceptions coming into this game, nearly coming up with yet another to put the game away.
To the sideline. This catch made by Davis, who reaches out for the first down. It's a pickup of 12.
I'm glad he got that first down. If he stays in bounds and he's short of the first down, and clock stays running, battles his way to get to the first. They move the sticks, and they're able to line up quickly.
Under a minute to go. Mond with time to Davis again, and another first down up near the 47. Clock stopped momentarily with 52 seconds left.
You can see now maybe the best rhythm we've seen A&M get into after back-to-back completions.
Mond, dangerous pass that's incomplete. Greedy Williams had just as good a chance at that as Rogers did.
Only the second target to Kendrick Rogers this game. And this ball was in the air too long when you throw into Greedy Williams' side of the field. Lucky that wasn't a pick 6 going the other direction.
No timeouts. And almost 54 yards to go for Texas A&M, down 7. Mond, trouble with the snap, almost went down to a knee, and that ball is picked off. It's Delpit that'll put it away with his 6th interception of the season. LSU is going to 10 wins.
Just took his eyes off the snap. Eric McCoy threw a strike back there. Devin White right there to create the pressure. The entire play was off. Devin White, of course, right in Kellen Mond's face, but just took his eyes off of it. I think he saw the blitz coming. He knew Travion Williams was having to come in there for a pickup. They may be taking a look to see if Devin White, they're going to take a look to see if there was targeting on Kellen Mond. And of course, LSU fans are be pretty upset if that's the case.
It stands Delpit with his
might
sixth
just
pick
be.
of the season, which would lead the SEC. But let's take a look here as White comes in after Mond struggles with this snap, and that knee almost went down. That is what they're looking at.
Yeah. Did he possess the ball when his knee was down? Or did his knee go down before he grabbed the football?
After review, the quarterback's knee was down at the 39-yard line. Ball will be placed there where it'll be third down.
That's a heck of a catch by the replay booth. And potentially an important one, obviously. What would have been a game-ending interception by Delpit. And the Aggies still with some life.
3rd and 18, clock about to start.
Here's Sternberger. He's been quiet most of this game.
And they try for him, and it's Delpit again. It puts a hand in front.
Well, they try to get it to him. Grant Delpit, great break on the ball. Had a pick before, negated, said Mond was on the ground. Therefore, the play was dead. Another pass defended by one of the best safeties you'll see.
Last chance on a 4th down for the Aggies. Mond steps up. Catch made at the 41-yard line by Davis. That's a 1st down.
They gotta hurry up, get over this football, snap and spike.
10 seconds left.
Once again, Mond stepping up in the pocket. We've seen it. Dave Aranda said this kid's got a live arm. The difficulty for this half has been connecting with his receivers. It's been too far in between these receptions. Jacob Phillips with the pressure. He's able to find Courtney Davis, who here in this possession has stepped up big time at receiver.
41 yards to go for A&M in 10 seconds. Mond, catch inside the 20 by Rogers. And now A&M has a realistic shot after a 23-yard completion, but the clock will start as they move it, and do they get it off? At least initially it says all zeros. We'll see if Matt Austin changes that.
1 second, hadn't gotten the snap, he's got it. The ball's down with 1 second showing. See the ball on the ground right there. There's 1 second on the play, on the game clock.
After review, when the quarterback spiked the ball, there was 1 second on the clock. Please set the game clock to 1 second. Be second down. Clock will start on the snap.
This is what got him down there. Kendrick Rogers, who's been quiet, he's been injured, had a shoulder injury, a foot injury. He's able to get behind Kerry Vincent and come up with a 1st down catch right along the boundary. The Aggies got downfield quickly and were able to get that spike to get one more play off to the end zone. Here's Sternberger that we were talking about before. 12 red zone targets coming into this game.
Game on the line. Mond, end zone. Caught! Courtney Davis!
You don't make any bigger catches than this one. The Aggies are trying to break a streak, and he's working against one of the best cover men in the country in Greedy Williams and Kellen Mond, who has struggled this entire half through a strike, and Courtney Davis made it count. 4 catches, 64 yards for Davis, and a touchdown on the final possession.
And Jimbo Fisher elects to play for more football. Seth Small. sends us to overtime. Kellen Mond to the sophomore from Houston, Courtney Davis, with the catch of his life. Sends us to extra football in College Station. What a catch by Courtney Davis to send us to overtime. Defensive coaches up in the box left, had to come back into the box. A&M throws a touchdown pass to Courtney Davis, and here we are. And it's Justin Jefferson on an end around, and he gets near the 22-yard line.
It's that swing that had to have caught up with LSU there towards the end. You thought it was over twice. Because for a moment, when A&M went down there to spike it, it looked like there was no time on the clock. That didn't sweat on Ed Ogeron.
Remember when Guy Morris, Kentucky's coach, took a bath, and then Devery Henderson made the catch in the Bluegrass Miracle?
Guy Morris, the Kentucky head coach, LSU winning it on the last second. This time, it went the other direction to force an overtime.
Burrow deflected at the line, third down. That was Kiki.
Kingsley Kiki does a great job. He gets his hands up. He's not going to get to the passer. They were trying to get it to Morrow again. He's had a couple of big catches in this game, one for a touchdown. Kiki that time able to get his hands up and get the deflection. Largely a quiet night for one of the better performers in the Aggie defensive front, and another third down. The Aggies have not been good on third down here tonight, and largely because of Joe Burrow and his scramble.
Burrow under pressure, sacked at the 32. Alaka got him.
He's got to get rid of this football, if for nothing else, to try to preserve field position for a field goal attempt. Alaka able to get there, beating the block of Nick Brissett. It cost LSU another 4 or 5 yards.
Tracy's 21 of 23 inside 50 yards, but missed one tonight. This from exactly 50 to give LSU the lead. Line drive right through. Boy, how big has Tracy been this season?
Boy, he sculled this one, because that ball was low from the get-go. I was a little surprised it even cleared the line, but as you mentioned, already missed one earlier in this game, bounced off the crossbar.
Then to win, as they say,
he caught that
for
one
the
thin.
transfer from Assumption College, as the LSU defense walks back onto the field, Chris.
And they're going to have to get their emotions in check, and quickly. Jacob Phillips and Kerry Vincent Jr. had to be separated. They were in each other's faces, screaming at each other before coming out.
The Aggies can win it with a touchdown here. If they don't score, LSU will claim victory. Mond to Sternberger inside the 5, but he fumbled. He fumbled the football. Now they call it incomplete. Greedy Williams had it and could end the game, but a late signal is an incompletion here.
I don't know. It looked to me like he possessed that football before it came out. That looks like a catch and a fumble. They're saying no, incomplete pass. Matt Austin went over there and consulted with Ed O.
No announcement made, and we play on, and Travion Williams inside the 15-yard line. 12 more, and another Aggie first down.
Outside run all the way. Great job that time by Carson Green at right tackle. Able to get Travion Williams clean and downhill to the perimeter. and first down yardage, a fresh set of downs inside the 14-yard line.
Fourth straight game going over 100 for Williams. And it's Mond this time, keeping inside the 10, inside the 5, and marked down at the 4.
Well, that time a nice block by Sternberger on the edge versus Jacoby Stevens. It allowed Mond to pick up about another 4 or 5 yards. Great ball fake in the backfield as well by Mond and Travion Williams.
Aggies at the doorstep, trying to end LSU's winning streak. Williams, first and goal run inside the 2.
Try to hammer it home. You've seen Williams with 2 now. He's been able to get in there, get in the red zone. You think of the opening possession and ran it right in, and now you've got 4 cracks at the end zone from the 1-yard line.
A&M has won 6 consecutive overtime games. And they won't get in here as it's a tackle for loss, and a loss of maybe 2. Divinity and company were in there.
Well, this is a heck of a play by Rashard Lawrence from the backside. He makes this play, number 90. That time working against left tackle Dan Moore. He got underneath that block right now. We've seen him do it twice in this game. He ended up losing 2 yards. A great play by number 90 to push the Aggie offense back.
Second and goal from the 3.
The Aggies have run it every single time out of this formation.
Mond keeps it, and he'll lose yardage. Jacoby Stevens at the 6.
Jacoby Stevens is on the edge right here. And watch him close and then float right back out. He did not sink inside on the fake handoff. Mond pulls it, and there were LSU defenders waiting on him. Think about Rashard Lawrence. Get that negative yardage play. Set up the second down. Another negative yardage play. Started out at first and goal from the 1.
Mond, nobody home.
He's throwing it towards Courtney Davis and Kendrick Rogers' side. And clear miscommunication. And you can see Jimbo flip. You see Fisher coming out on the field. Kellen Mond likes immediate feedback. He got it on that one. Coach Fisher is saying, look, man, we can't have you going to the left side of that formation. Both receivers not within 5 yards of that throw.
Seth Small from 24 yards. How about that LSU goal line stand? And we play on to a second overtime in College Station. LSU had to kick a 50-yard field goal. Meanwhile, A&M got inside the LSU 2. They scored the same amount of points in the first overtime. So Mond on the 1st and 10. Upstairs goes Davis, already has one amazing catch to extend the game in regulation. Can't do it this time as Terrence Alexander's there.
Ball sails on Mond this time. Working against Alexander and had it coming out of the break. Just a bad ball. You know, the receivers here in the second half haven't done Mond a ton of favors. That time Mond had time to throw on first down. And the ball sailed on Courtney Davis, who was the hero on the game-tying drive, including the tying touchdown.
Williams finds hole inside the 15, inside the 10, 1st and goal.
Just a zone to the left. And that time A&M does a great job up front covering up the LSU jerseys. Travion Williams gets outside, tries to cut back. Ends up being met by Delpit and Todd Harris, but not before he picked up a first down inside the 10. And as we just mentioned, the LSU defense was able to bow its neck with even less field to defend.
Williams inside the 4. Kobe Stevens making that tackle.
Again, we talked about Williams and his cutback ability. What I like so much about him, he doesn't try to do too much with the cutback. If he sees something open up backside, he sticks it downhill, especially when you're playing with a short field. Don't get too cute, don't go lateral, get downhill as quickly as possible.
This is his 30th rush of the game. Now it's Mond with Williams blocking in front. Touchdown.
The QB stretch play, except you end up getting angles right at the point of attack. You see Ryan McCollum, number 77, able to pull outside and escort Mond into the end zone. Williams, the lead blocker. And this time, the Aggies able to capitalize on a first down and goal to go.
Small's extra point is good. LSU went from celebrating a victory, which was overturned, to having to score a touchdown in the second overtime to keep the game going. Joe Burrow, 2 touchdowns passing, 1 rushing tonight. And like Mond, takes off with a tailback blocking in front for 6.
Effectively the same play, as you mentioned. You're just going to run a stretch play into the boundary with your quarterback and the lead blocker out in front. And once again, first down efficiency for LSU showing up again. That was Joe Burrow's 20th carry. That was a design carry on that run.
And it's 21 carries, and it's a first down to the 11.
That time Joe Burrow pulling a Travion Williams. Quarterback counter, and he sticks it right up in the middle. Kingsley Keke had a chance to make the tackle. Burrow runs right through it. Able to pick up a first down. And just outside the 10-yard line, LSU can still convert.
Burrow, end zone chase, incomplete. Could not bring it down to the ground as that ball was resting next to him.
Working against Miles Jones. And, it looks like a catch to me. Does he bounce it out? Does he lose possession? And Miles Jones punches it out.
Burrow with Brosette blocking in front. And he's out near the 5. And to further the point about these attempts, his career high before this game in rushing attempts was 13. 9 more than that tonight.
Now, he's been the difference maker all night long. And it's been largely as a runner. It's been the Joe Burrow show. We talked about it. Coming into this game, A&M, they only give up 80 yards rushing. Not tonight. It's been more than double that, 185 rushing yards for LSU.
3rd and 4. Same play. 4th down at the 3. Landis Durham on the tackle.
That time a good job by Donovan Wilson of setting the edge. He came up quickly on Nick Brissett. You see LSU, they want to run this play quickly.
Brissett stretches to the goal line, touchdown.
A&M was running around to get set still. Donovan Wilson able to slip out. And is Brissett's elbow. I wonder if they're going to take another look at this. Is it down? You see the ball right here. Here's his elbow. I wonder if they're going to take another look at this.
Paul Tracy to send it to triple overtime. And we play on in College Station. The last game of the SEC regular season is quite possibly its best.
The story of this overtime has to be that LSU goal line stand. Otherwise, we never even make it to the second one, much less the third. And of course, the other story is Joe Burrow, career high, 23 carries, 80 yards. Nick Brissett got into the end zone. He's got fresh legs. The guy hadn't had to do much all night long.
Burrow, end zone, caught! D. Anderson.
A&M brought corner pressure from the opposite side, the left side of the formation. You see Renfro doesn't get home. Miles Jones, who was able to break up a would-be touchdown catch earlier, had a chance that time. D. Anderson just kind of casually reached over to the left side of his hip, came up with a catch.
Burrow with the home run ball after running it down A&M's throat in the second overtime. And now must go for two.
He wasted no time getting in that time. At the top of your screen, this is Justin Jefferson.
Burrow rolls out, got it. Jefferson.
They started with Jefferson out wide. They move him in motion all the way across the formation. And he's able to outflank Deshaun Capers-Smith for an easy two-point conversion. All the pressure now on Texas A&M having to score not only a touchdown but convert a two-point conversion.
Mond will throw on first down. End zone incomplete. Just over the hand of Jamon Osmond.
So both offenses here in the third overtime going for home run balls. At that time, too high. Greedy Williams underneath it. Grant Delpit over top. And Osmond in the middle. You talk about a difficult proposition. You're talking about two of the best defensive backs in the country that can play the ball in the air. And unsurprisingly, an incomplete pass for the Aggie offense.
All kinds of time, but nothing to find. Jump ball to the end zone. Rodgers, I think, made that catch, and there's a flag. Wow!
With PI all over. How does he make this catch? But does. I don't think that ball ever made contact with the ground. Watch Terrence Alexander pull his left hand down, and Rodgers stays with this football. It almost bounced off his chest and his shoulder pads and enabled him to make the catch.
Now, of course, he had an incredible game against Clemson and made a big touchdown catch, but they were not able to get the two-point conversion. They'll have to do that here to keep this game alive.
And what they saw, they ended up taking Jefferson all the way across the formation. Jefferson started out up here. Here's Jamon Osmond. Probably their most reliable receiver prior to his injury.
To extend the game. Mond got it! It's Rogers again!
Why not stay with the hot hand? Kendrick Rogers with the touchdown catch and the two-point conversion. And we remain tied after 3 overtimes.
Kendrick Rogers has been battling injuries all season after that terrific 120-yard receiving performance and 2 touchdowns against Clemson. He hasn't had another one this year until the 3rd overtime, and he gets the 2-pointer as well. Aggies stay on the field, and it's Williams on the ground and near another first down at the 15.
And they missed a false start on Travion Williams on that carry. Travion Williams was early. You could see the LSU defenders after that snap. They couldn't believe it.
Williams, no place to go, and he is swallowed up by Neil Farrell.
Indecisive on this run. It's getting strung out, just get out there. That time kind of floated a little bit behind the line of scrimmage. Farrell did a good job of stringing that play out. Of course, another fine product out of Mobile, Alabama. A big negative yardage play for the LSU defense.
Mond rifles another one, and Osborne can't make the catch, but here comes the flag as Jacob Phillips levels Osborne at the end of the play.
Yeah, they're gonna.
Personal foul, targeting with the crown of the helmet. It'll be 6 of the defense. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Gillespie back in front of Williams. And Williams follows his big fullback inside the 5, down to the 4. 2nd and goal.
A new wrinkle we haven't seen all game as you see Phillips exiting Kyle Field. That time A&M brought orbit motion. That means the motion man goes behind the quarterback and the running back, the entire formation, trying to pull the LSU defenders' eyes wide and away from the play. We've seen this play many times this game, downhill out of the pistol. That time with the lead blocker in Gillespie.
Mond scored on this play 2 overtimes ago. He gets nothing this time. 3rd down.
Well defended by Patrick Queen. Sets the edge, gets out wide. Jacoby Stevens as well coming up. Getting upfield on Kellen Mond. That play was pretty much dead from the get-go. LSU had it flanked, did a great job of running to the perimeter to deny Kellen Mond. As you mentioned, that was the play they effectively had the same success. Were able to get into the end zone. That time Mond denied, setting up this 3rd down.
Could not punch it in the first frame when the Aggies could have won the game on a 3rd and goal. This time Mond extending the play over the head of Sternberger, covered up by Delpit. 4th down.
Well covered in the end zone. That's been the story mostly of the second half, where Kellen Mond hasn't felt like he had anywhere to go initially with the football. That time he threw all the way back towards the middle of the field, Delpit in coverage. And A&M, with this secondary, lucky to have a possession to even kick a field goal here.
So Seth Small with another chip shot. And the 21-yarder is straight through. So LSU can now win it with a touchdown. in the 4th overtime and qualify for the New Year's Six. You saw.
Now A&M only with the 3-point lead. And of course, a touchdown here puts it away for the Tigers.
Fake to Fournette. Burrow to Moreau inside the 10, and he holds onto the ball as Pryor tries to pry it loose. 1st and goal.
Donovan Wilson had a nice break on this ball. You can see Burrow with the ball fake to the right. And Donovan Wilson was just a hair late. And Moreau, who has come up big in this game, back-to-back games after a career high last week versus Rice.
Leonard Fournette down to the 6. Fournette has gone from being buried on the depth chart to scoring his 1st career touchdown last week and playing a huge role tonight.
Opened up the entire game. First play of the game, a pass to Leonard Fournette. Ended up getting, look at him, talking with Kevin Falk, one of the best running backs in SEC history, certainly in LSU history. Can't learn from anybody better than that.
Brissett back in. Burrow follows him, changes direction, wrapped up. Tyrell Dodson the first to him, 3rd down.
Both offenses trying the right side of their offensive line. Both defenses doing a great job. For both of these programs to be hinging on these overtime periods to determine who's the 2nd best team in this division behind Alabama, and perhaps even a Sugar Bowl Peach Fiesta for LSU. A lot on the line and a streak to be broken perhaps for A&M.
Burrow takes off, down at the 3. Landis Durham on the tackle, and Coach O says kick it.
You want to take a look at it though, didn't he? He leaned in there for a second. Coach O, and you see Burrow, boy, he is battle weary. Number 9 for LSU has seen a ton of work, and it hasn't all been designed, but he has battled. You could see why the LSU coaching staff was so taken with Joe Burrow, and he has earned his stripes tonight.
Cole Tracy, one of the best in the country. 52 to 52, and we're headed to a 5th overtime. Well, we're going to go watch this play here as we get ready for the 5th overtime. And Burrow finds Torrey Carter for his 1st catch of the game in the 5th overtime.
I think that's the 11th different receiver for Joe Burrow. So he's spreading it around, and he's certainly been given plenty of time to do so.
Only his 3rd catch of the season for the sophomore from Leesburg, Georgia. Brissett on the toss to the 11.
And here's the thing, and we touched on it earlier. It's been Joe Burrow left, Joe Burrow right, Joe Burrow scrambling, maybe a couple of throws sprinkled in. Nick Brissett, he's had a pretty quiet night. I mean, we're talking 14 rushes now. We're in the 5th overtime. So if anything, you got fresh legs, and of course he's back over on the sideline. The number 1 running back for LSU tonight has been its quarterback, number 9, who's under center now.
It's been a while since Edwards-Helaire has been in the game. Here he is. Looks like he's going to throw. Carter, touchdown. Why not?
Well, if Burrow's going to be your runner, then Edwards-Helaire naturally should be your passer. And Torrey Carter should be the receiver, who we just mentioned gets almost no targets and now makes 2 catches in the 5th overtime.
Now, how does that conversation start? Is Torrey still here?
That's right.
LSU converted a 2-pointer for the first time all season in the 3rd overtime.
We've got Foster Morrow all the way to the bottom of the screen.
And a miscommunication with Jefferson. So the lead is 6.
See Jefferson a little bit frustrated at the end of that play.
Must score a touchdown to keep the game going, and then can win it if they get the 2-point conversion. And facing the rush, steps up and takes off. Inside the 5 to the 4.
Mond sees the rush lane. This is a pass all the way, but he ends up scrambling. You see the umpire, maybe with a key block that time, was just enough to slow down Micah Baskerville. LSU without their two of their starting linebackers and a starting defensive end.
And here he is following Gillespie, but cannot get the edge as that speed from Stevens shows up again.
I mentioned Jacoby Stevens earlier. This is a heck of a play by number 3. He has been in coverage a lot tonight with Jay Sternberger, and this time sliding off the blocks, gets upfield, forces a negative yardage play. A&M, they get 1st and goal, and they start going backwards. This will be their 100th offensive snap.
From the 5 on a 2nd down. Empty backfield. Mond loses more yardage. Patrick Queen, who almost had an interception some 3 or 4 hours ago with the tackle for loss.
That was really poorly blocked that time by A&M. It was a QB draw all the way. Thought they were going to catch LSU dropping. Patrick Queen did a great job getting upfield again. Back-to-back plays. Great job by the LSU defense. That's their 12th tackle for loss tonight.
A&M with as many as 2 plays to go 6 yards and tie it. Mond into traffic, incomplete. 6 players down there, 2 for the Aggies. It hit Kendrick Rogers, 4th down.
He had Jay Sternberger, he came off of it. See him came off it pretty quickly. Had plenty of time this time. Only 3 rushers. Again, Devin White right there. And as you mentioned, got 2 receivers right on top of each other. Kendrick.
Mond, end zone, touchdown! Rogers again!
Mond stepping up in the pocket. Didn't flush out. Kept his eyes downfield, and he's able to hit Kendrick Rogers, who they have listed at 6'4". This guy is 6'6" if he's an inch. And he has come up huge. You mentioned the big game he had versus Clemson. Kellen Mond had a career day that day. This is an even bigger performance.
Now for the win. If A&M gets it, it's over. If LSU stops them, we go to a 6th overtime. Mond with all kinds of time, and it's incomplete. He wanted Jamon Osborne, but Greedy Williams was all over him, and we go to a 6th overtime at Kyle Field in College Station.
Hey, it's been a lot of fun prior to this. Why would you want to wrap things up now? And plus, they're out of Gatorade. They've already dumped it all on the LSU sideline.
Coach O takes the bath, but a little too soon. This has turned into the game of the week on Rivalry weekend, and Mond has Sternberger! Touchdown!
He was lined up at wing. It's a formation we've seen a lot this game. We haven't seen them throw it this game. The Wiltshire Oyster, from a receiving standpoint, they've all contributed now here in the overtimes.
Mond, Rogers again, why not?
I mentioned Kendrick Rogers is a big dude working against Kerry Vincent. I mean, what are you going to do? That's a jump ball versus a 6'5", 6'6" receiver. Kerry Vincent goes about 5'10". Yeah, they're pushing through, man. They went and got some Ricola breath mints or something.
Burrow with his best performance as an LSU Tiger, down to the 17.
It takes a shot. The third big shot. He's taking a lot of shots in this game. A third big shot. He was limping around earlier, but he bounced right up after that run.
LSU must score a touchdown and a two-point conversion. Brosette wrapped up. Big loss. Alaka, the first one to him.
Alaka knifes upfield right now. Watch him undercut the block. And Brosette, who's trying to string it out and floating. Dalen Mack is there to finish it up, as is the balance of the Aggie defensive front. And Alaka, the leading tackler for A&M, comes up with a big negative yardage tackle. Missed a couple of practices due to the concussion protocol. Showing up big on that overtime snap.
Burrow. Jefferson makes the grab inside the 5, first and goal.
This ball hung in the air almost as long as this game has gone on. It just kind of floats. It looks like it might have gotten picked by Alaka as LSU's over the football quickly.
And Burrow keeps it himself. Touchdown to LSU. Now it's the two-point conversion to try to keep the game going.
Great read right here by Burrow. As you see A&M crashing down, Tyrell Dodson too far upfield, and Burrow able to get underneath the edge defender for the Aggies and into the end zone. This time a different formation.
Burrow got it. D. Anderson says he's not ready to go home. Dick Vitale in Cameron Indoor Stadium once said, "I want to stay here all night." That's what we're doing in College Station today. Is it Sunday yet? We play on.
I think this game started shortly after that.
Burrow, home run ball. Tangled up in the end zone, and the flag comes in as D. Anderson with a one-on-one battle with Larry Pryor.
Pass interference, defense number 21. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Well, you're right, Oliver came in there after Jones got banged up. Oliver a starter most of the season.
You can see he just panics right here. Hadn't seen a lot of snaps. We're in overtime. D. Anderson, who calmly made a touchdown catch earlier, working against Miles Jones, the cornerback whom Charles Oliver replaced. And Oliver that time with a PI to try to deny what he thought would have been a touchdown scoring catch.
Burrow running all night into the end zone. Touchdown.
When we talked to the A&M defensive coaches, we asked them, Now, who does Nick Brissett remind you of? You say, he's got a little Darius guys. We should have asked, who does Joe Burrow remind you of? As a ball carrier, of course. Because none have been more effective than he has.
This one deflected, and even though it's caught, it's short of the goal line as D. Anderson makes the catch. So the Aggies can tie it if they score a touchdown, but win it with a 2-point conversion. How about that history made on Kyle Field tonight in College Station? The last game of the year in the SEC is the game of the year, period. Travion Williams still running hard, down near the 12 on his 35th carry.
A&M opens the overtime in 10 personnel. No tight ends, 1 running back, and they got the box count that they wanted. They had the numbers to cover up the defenders, and it took Grant Delpit coming up and again making an open field tackle on one of the best runners in the conference, of Travion Williams.
First and 10 for the Aggies from the LSU 12.
A&M staying same formation, this time to the opposite side of the field.
Mond takes off, but goes down. Devin White.
It looked like there was miscommunication on that one, because Travion Williams looked like he was setting up to pass protect, and Mond took off almost like it was a QB draw. I don't think he bailed on the throw that quickly. Travion Williams was stepping up, looked like he was ready to pick up a blitzer or a second-level pass rusher.
It's a loss of 4. Aggies can get a first down at the LSU 2. Throwing behind Sternberger, incomplete, 3rd down.
Last 2 plays for the Aggies offensively out of sync. After getting a big run from Travion Williams to open up this overtime, you get Mond on what looked like a QB draw, at least for what he thought was a QB draw, and then a bad ball. And of course, there's bound to be a few bad plays when you've run 106 of them.
Well, this will be a school record 107th.
Rogers in the game now, right here, the bottom of your screen.
Mond, strike to Davis, touchdown.
Well, Courtney Davis, I guess he felt like he was getting overlooked. Rogers getting all the attention. So why not catch another touchdown? It was Davis with 1 second on the clock, after making 3 catches prior, to get A&M down the field, that scored the tying touchdown. And you've got options across the board. And keep in mind, though, the LSU at times throughout this overtime has done an excellent job blanketing coverage. Mond would have to buy time in the pocket.
Rogers in the slot from outside the 5. Mond looking that way. Got it! It's Rogers! The Aggies win the game of the year in the Southeastern Conference. Texas A&M ends a 7-game losing streak to LSU. Jimbo Fisher has his statement victory as the head coach of the Aggies, and the rivalry is on. Here he is with Chris.
Coach Fisher, you nearly lost that one 3 separate times. What did your team prove to you tonight?
Well, we're going in the right direction. We can overcome adversity. A long way to go to get back. Tell you what, the heart and soul of these guys is amazing, and how far they came and learned to play with confidence and big moments.
What were you telling your team in that final drive like 2 hours ago and in between each of those overtimes to keep it up?
You walked on the field, you got to believe in 2 minutes. We worked 2 minutes religiously, played hard. Guys, I can't say enough about all the players, Cal and everybody. But, I mean, just you got to believe you're going to do it.
As you finished second in the West, where does this match the expectations you had for this program going
Listen,
in?
my expectations are to be at the top, but we have to take steps at a time. We progress. We let some games slip away later on, but it's a heck of a conference. We got second in this, and hey, that's a starting point. Now we got to get better and move on.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
LSU overcomes every kind of obstacle imaginable, but they cannot dodge the final bullet, as Kendrick Rogers was unstoppable in each of the overtimes, and he makes the game-winning catch here.
It doesn't end any better than this. It could have ended a bunch of times, but it couldn't end any better than this for A&M. As you see, Ed Ogeron can't believe it. They had this game won multiple times, and after 6 OTs, the Aggies able to get to their 8th victory.
74-72, the highest scoring game in college football history. Man alive, it doesn't get any better than this.